righty, all righty. So, Steelers, Ravens. Turns to the strengths for the Ravens. Explosive offense. Now, granted, we know it's no Lamar. So, all of this is with the caveat that you're facing the Pro Bowler, Tyler Huntley, not the MVP, Lamar Jackson. Strengths for them, though, like I said, very explosive offensively, man. Can get it done through the air and through the ground. And even with their passing attack, like I said, it's not specific to it has to be deep shots to receivers. They work tight ends a lot. They run the wheel route concept. That's one of the things that they love to do, working on the sidelines of, some of these defenses, whether that's with running backs or with wide receivers. I think we talked about it yesterday, but literally in their first 15 plays last game, man, that concept showed up 3 times. The wheel route. All right. So when you're thinking about your first 15, those are the plays that are the most scripted. Those are the plays that we're saying we think we can attack this team with this. And honestly, it worked great. My man from Miami struggled all game seeing it, and he never saw it. And that was a big reason why Baltimore was able to take advantage of it, whether it was them hitting the pass to Zay or them hitting 2 passes, I want to say, to Justice Hill.
It was a running back.
Yeah, it was literally the exact same situation, man. He was a curl flat defender, which means he has to buzz out to where the numbers are, right? 10 to 12 yards, about a yard inside the numbers where he's supposed to be located at. But if that guy comes out the backfield, or if it's the receiver and he's curling his route up, or it might look like an out route and he wheels it up. Once he does that, it's not on the safety. It's on this defender. This dude never got that in that game, man. So they worked him. And literally that's what they're doing over there in Baltimore with the way they're running their offense. And that's really added an explosive element from a passing part, where it's not asking Lamar to read a bunch of concepts, but we're picking on a particular spot and we're just checking your rules. And we giving it to you out of multiple looks. So it's stuff like that that really helps them. And then everything else is mainly Lamar just being able to extend sometimes, man. Sitting back there, the protection is good. And then it's a Zay Flowers breaking off and doing something. It's not a lot of and just go. So that's the real explosive part of it. But then the other thing is,
what's your solution for stopping
in terms
these
of
blue
that
routes? What would you do?
Dude, honestly, it's literally, this is your assignment. You're the curl flat defender, 2 through the zone. You got to run with that. It's literally that simple.
We can't put a linebacker on the running back, though. Who do we trust?
But the problem is this. It's a part of the zone defense. And what have we been running since all the injuries? Cover 3. That was the big reason why it stood out to me, because I'm like, we're going to have the same situation, and we're looking at Mark Robinson. We're looking at Michael Walker. We're looking at Eric Rowe. We're looking at, because it hasn't been a lot of Miles Jack buzzing out. He's been typically in the hook.
Right.
But it's like those are the guys, Channing Sullivan, those are the guys that are going to see it the most. So the way that you coach it, you just simply have to harp on it. 2 through the zone, you got to run with this. When this guy, even if it looks like an out, if he wheels up, you got to go. If he come out the backfield and he does it, it's simple. Sometimes you can see it. But if he's stacked lineman, you got to go with that. Out of cover 3, you got to go. If not, that's no different than you attacking cover 3 with 4 verticals, right? Because you putting 2 guys on your single high defender. You got this route, and I got something typically in here. Yeah. So now he can't be right. You come up here, I'm going to hit this. You come down here. And the problem is the cover 3 corner is taking this because, they running like a deep end. So this dude is like, I got to run with this. Otherwise, I'm giving up a 15, 20-yard in pass. And that wheel route is killing. And like I said, the dude from Miami could not stop it to save his life. He never saw it. I don't know if he didn't know the check. I don't know what. But that was a major issue. And because of how much cover 3 we're running, we are going to see that a lot. We're going to be tested by that. They like that concept. So that's why I was like.
Huntley got that ball, though, is the question.
That's the question. He's a Pro Bowler.
That does take a good pass.
It does.
Lamar,
it's a touch pass.
Yeah,
it definitely
drop
is,
that
man.
On a dime.
It definitely is. It's very similar to when we're talking the Tampa or the cover 2. Can you throw it over this cat in this little hole right here, that little window? Yeah.
Right.
But shoot, the way that them cats was blowing the coverage last week, you didn't even have to have a touch pass. It was literally just wide open because this curl flat defender never ran with it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the big thing for us, that we got to make sure that them dudes, it's nothing crazy that we asking you to do. We ain't asking you to remember 4 or 5 different coverages. We literally playing cover 3. Tampa 2 is kind of plays like cover 3. Maybe you get a little man when we blitz you something down in the red zone. Other than that, though, That's a simple thing to remember, man. So I looked at that, man, and that was, like I said, something that really stood out to me for them that I think they're doing well. And then just their overall team's confidence, man. They look like a team that believes. They look like a team that thinks, man, it doesn't matter how good or how bad or whatever adversity might happen. They feel like they're going to find a way to win. And you watch how they run to the ball. You watch how their offensive linemen, when it's a big player, even just how they're finishing blocks. You look at the receivers when they're blocking. It's just like they're having fun. Everybody looks like they're playing hard. Like you said, I'm watching Jadeveon Clowney. I'm like, yo, this is the best you've looked professionally. I don't know what's going on. I look at Kyle Van Noy off of moving, just bop, bop, and now he's over here just cooking. He's like, yo, I'm looking interior D line. I'm like, yo, all right. You already know what they got on their O-line. We like, dang, okay. They just look confident right now. And I just think back to, Killer B time, how we felt. We come and say we felt confident, bro. And everybody was going to give you everything because we legitimately felt we were the best team out there. So when you walk in those stadiums and you got that mindset and everybody's going to give it their all, you think about the win you're able to do. That's kind of what they on. But no Lamar. So that's all for the Lamar convo. This is a different version we're about to see.
Yeah.
But all them things still kind of hold true, but that's the big difference right now.
Yeah. So my 3 things I got for strengths for the Ravens that I feel like translate no matter who they got out there is they got a good coach in John Harbaugh.
Very true.
They have a good running game. Like, no matter what.
Very true.
Even last year,
Very
last
true.
2 years, whenever they'd have to have Tyler Huntley in there.
Yeah.
They'd still be able to run the ball pretty good.
Very
Not
true.
to the extent whenever they had Lamar Jackson, but they'd still stay committed to it, and they'd still get positive yards pretty consistently. And that's typically with some shitty no-name running back. Not no-name, because we know who they are, but not top-tier running backs. Right. The running scheme and how they operate as an offense, they know how to pound the rock. Mm-hmm. And then third one, they're always going to have a pretty solid defense. Yeah. No matter what starters are out there or whatnot, they're a well-coached team. And John Harbaugh knows how to get them right.
Yeah. You know what else we can include, too? How about the special teams? Now, I know from a Justin Tucker's point, he hasn't hit as consistently, but he's still a dope kicker. Their punting situation is good, but you also have Justice Hill running back kicks for them also. He low-key should have scored one a week ago. But it's just another explosive part where you typically see them on special teams coverage units. They do that thing where they're not just kicking out the back of the end zone every single time. Sometimes they'll choose to kick that thing up and let it hang, and now they tackling you inside the 20. Now they tackling you inside the 15, that type of stuff. So, just that is also something that they continue to do really well. And it just goes to everything that you was kind of just saying, too, with Harbaugh, man. Like, that's them
like
right
Tomlin.
now, man. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like Tomlin.
3 phases of football, they detail their work, man.
Hey, Steelers got injuries.
Yeah.
There's a chance it's going to be a game still.
Yeah.
And that's been the case for us these last, 2 weeks.
Yep.
We've had a bunch of injuries on defense, but the defense has still looked good.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some Tomlin games over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, very true.
That happens, but...
Trust me, one of our Tomlin games was to him, Ryan Mallett. We was out there. I'll never forget it, bro.
Like that happens, but in general,
Mm-hmm.
Tomlin is always going to get us in the mix for the playoffs year in and year out.
Yep.
And when there is adversity, when there is injuries, don't be surprised when the Steelers put out a good performance. Yeah.
They rally. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, like if Lamar was playing, if we knew what starters were playing for the Ravens, you would obviously talk about Lamar. You'd talk about all their new weapons on offense,
Correct.
something that they haven't had in a minute. And then defense, they just got some flat-out studs. And Roquan Smith, Queen, Cal Hamilton.
Both them boys.
Marlon Humphrey, he's kind of on the downswing, but he's still good.
He's injured still, bro. Remember, he had Achilles, too.
Was that last year?
No, he had the pec last year, but he had an Achilles the year before that, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's been banged up these past 2. But
yeah, he didn't start out the season healthy.
Yeah. Nah. But no, we on the same page with it. You got any other strifts?
No, that's it.
For sure.
My weaknesses, I would just say they don't have their starters playing. Lamar's not playing. That's really what it comes down to.
Literally, this is what I had, bro. I said nothing of significance to play for, because you still gonna get dudes out there that's playing for, jobs, staying sharp, getting opportunities. But in terms of what we are playing for in contrast to what they're playing for, that is a little bit different. They know they got a tomorrow. We don't know if we're gonna have a tomorrow just yet. So that's definitely something, that I think will be a positive for us. The next thing is, bro, they still be having mental errors on defense, man. Miami, low-key, it was Tua. Tua has some opportunities, man. He has some opportunities. They was busting some coverages, bro. And it was some guys running free. I mean, one should have been a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill, one where he's kind of like bobbling it. But it was multiple times in that game. The game got gory in the second half with some of that like late weird stuff. But literally going into the fourth, it was still I think it was a 2-score game at one point, man. Baltimore was tripping a little bit defensively, but the thing that they do well is they went up front. So kind of like us. We blew a couple of coverages versus Seattle, man. It didn't matter though, because the one was TJ hitting them. The other one I think was her big sack. You talk about Baltimore. Man, Baltimore blew a couple coverages on one. It's Kyle Van Noy getting a sack. Another one is Jadeveon Clowney. The next one is the big boy. Dang, I'm about to draw a blank on my man's name. Oh my goodness, Pierce. That's what it was. Yeah. So it's like, man, they kind of get away with it at times when your rush helps your coverage out, and then vice versa. Your rush don't play well, but your coverage locks it up, or your coverage gets a PBU, whatever. So they do have that. But like I said, that was one of the things that I said, man, I do feel could pop up, man. The way that Mason's playing right now, the way that we're stretching the field vertically, some of them concepts they struggled with. And it was more so because they exotic, bro. They do a lot on their defense, man. But they also are they're further along. Healthier, more veterans, and yeah, they got a lot of talent in their secondary specifically. So that's why they cover stuff gets kind of exotic like that.
Wait, what's going on? Is Patrick Queen playing? Is Roquan
I don't
Smith
know,
playing?
bro. I don't know. Because I don't think you can sit
I
both
think
of them.
I think what you're saying is much more likely if they're missing
playing.
some of those blue chippers on defense.
Right, that's what we're trying to see. Mm-hmm.
We even talked about that with them earlier in the season. They blew games. They blew the
dude.
game to us.
Yes.
They blew the game to the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was another game or two that they may have won, but they let the team come back in the second half.
Because you
Definitely
see
some
them
lapses
have like
in that
mental
part of the
errors,
game.
and you're like, yo, this.
But they've cleaned it up. They've
Yeah.
cleaned it up at least to the extent where they've gone on this crazy winning streak, this winning run.
Because they are explosive offensively, bro. And they can turn the ball over on defense, and they can win up front in terms of their pass rush. So when you're doing those things, it's a recipe for success. And when you watch them, they don't turn the ball over a lot. Now, they've had 20 fumbles, but they haven't lost them all. So that was the other part. I will say ball handling or ball security. 20 fumbles is a lot of fumbles. That's a lot of fumbles, man. A lot of times for that ball to be on the ground, man. And not in terms of, anything crazy. We're not saying it was 20 that you lost, but it's like
lost.
That's a lot of times that the ball was out. So when you think of that, obviously, with a message that we're talking about this week, hunt that ball. When you're doing all of this handoff, you pulling it and all that other stuff, all it takes is one simple mistake. Tyler Huntley isn't Lamar Jackson. So let's see, man, if that ball's on that ground, we saw how that helped us last week. That ball get on that ground, we need that, man. Definitely need it.
You know what? Another thing I'll bring up, they are a good run defense, but they'll give up yards.
They definitely will.
And I think probably why some of their running numbers are better in terms of like touchdowns, and then the attempts that they go up against is just due to game flow.
Yes.
Like they'll get up, and other teams will have to pass to get back in it. So if we can run the rock.
And
basically, just here's my thing: just Steelers play how you did the last 2 weeks, and we'll be fine. Literally play the same exact way.
And the reason,
run the ball good, Mason play good, defense keep a lid on it. Maybe we could play better defense than just keep a lid on it if Minka and Roberts are back. But
this is also
that's still
true.
That's the main point, especially now going up against Tyler Huntley.
Yeah,
like, just don't give up a stupid play. Make them execute the whole series down the field.
I would agree, and I will say, man, just finishing up what you were just talking about with their run defense. Big part of why they get gashed, as much as I love watching Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen play together and as dominant as they are, bro, they're the reason that they get gashed as well, because they backdoor a lot of blocks. And when they miss, that's the 60-yarder. Sure. Miami had a 60-yarder in the game. It's literally Patrick Queen backdooring a play, getting cut off, and he trips Roquan Smith.
Risk reward.
Yeah. It was another gash play. It's literally Roquan Smith backdoor. He cuts off Kyle Hamilton. Like, that's how they get gashed. But it's also part of what makes them sexy, because you watching them get TFLs or coming downhill, and you like, bro, he backdoored that and got to that play. Sheesh, that's Shazier. That's what you watching. But you think Shazier when he was here.
Yeah, those are game-changing momentum type of plays.
But that was Shay here. Shay backdoor make that play. It's a sexy play. Shay backdoor don't get there. All right, now we chasing something. You live with it, though. them type of players though. Not everybody could do. That's what Devin Bush at times we talk about him. Is like he has the habit of wanting to backdoor it, but his backdoor he doesn't get back front side to get to the play. So it gets gashed, and once it's downhill, it's downhill. Now it's a foot race. But that is definitely something that shows up on their tape a lot, man. But they make a lot of them other plays too, and that's why you live with it, and that's why they, who they are right now.